Plant. Oh, there's a lot of plant stuff. Seventeenth, right? 18. 17. Oh, yeah, there we are. We have 7 viewers. How awesome. Oh no, we can actually see ourselves. 17. Oh, yeah, there we are. And now 5 people. I think we started, did we?
Oh, sorry. Hello, Chris, you could start. Yeah,
Great.
your time. Yeah.
Let's see. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Krishna. The floor
Thanks,
is
Aaron.
yours.
Sure. So, thank you for joining our session today. We are thrilled to have you here as we dive into some of the key concepts of Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric. My name is Krishna. I am a senior program manager here with the Data Factory team in Microsoft. I'll be presenting this session along with Yaran, my counterpart senior program manager from the data integration team. Over the next few hours, we'll take you through a deep dive into using Dataflows Gen2 in Microsoft Data Factory, sharing insights and best practices along the way. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's take a quick look at today's agenda. Our goal is to guide you on a journey from having no prior knowledge of Data Factory in Fabric and data flows to a deep dive into capabilities of Dataflow Gen2. We'll be showcasing several demos to highlight these capabilities in action. We'll also walk you through recently shipped features. That's a quick recap of the key announcements from the Data Factory team. So you are up to speed on the latest capabilities and improvements available in Dataflow Gen2. If you've been using earlier generations of Dataflow, such as Power BI Dataflows, which is Dataflow Gen1, we'll explore different ways to upgrade uh, the Power BI Dataflows to Dataflow Gen2 so that you can take advantage of the latest enhancements in Gen2. And finally, if you're already familiar with Dataflow Gen2 and Data Factory, you might be wondering what's in it for you, right? So to keep things exciting, we have some insights around what is coming up as well in our product roadmap towards the end of the session. So with that, probably we'll get started. Okay. If you've actually attended any previous sessions on Fabric or Data Factory, you might have seen this slide before. So what is Microsoft Fabric, right? As many of you already know, Microsoft Fabric is a unified data platform designed for AI-driven transformations. It brings together a comprehensive data foundation that deeply integrates data integration, analytics, database, or something new, real-time intelligence, and Power BI. At its core, it's built on top of OneLake, our AI-powered data lake, and it's governed by Microsoft Purview. Again, I'm just taking an example to compare Microsoft Fabric to something that you already know, right? So I like to compare Microsoft Fabric to Microsoft Office, something you've heard earlier as well, right? Let's think about Office, right? It's a suite of productivity tools like Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Each of these applications is designed for a specific task, whether it's writing a document, creating a presentation, or building a spreadsheet. But despite their different purposes, they share a common user experience. You have the same spell check, you have the same formatting options, the way that you do copy and paste still remains the same. They also share the foundation layer of governance, storage, as well as collaboration, right? So now apply the same concept for Microsoft Fabric. Instead of productivity tools, Fabric is a suite of analytical tools and databases, of course, right? So instead of writing documents or making spreadsheet, you're interacting with data, building warehouse, analyzing the insights in Power BI, and so forth, right? Each of the tool is optimized for a specific task, while they share a common element, like how you connect to them, how you manage artifacts in a workspace, and move through different stages from dev to prod, right? On top of that, everything runs on a unified platform, meaning security, compliance, storage, governance, and all are managed centrally. This allows for seamless collaboration and ensures that you can govern your entire data ecosystem within a single product. That's Microsoft Fabric for you. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so today our focus is on one of the key services of Microsoft Fabric, right, which is the Data Factory. Fabric Data Factory is built on the unification of two powerful tools, right, or two powerful technologies per se. One is the Azure Data Factory, right, which provides a pro-level data integration capabilities on Azure, and the other one is the Power Query, the self-service data preparation tool that we've seen embedded in Power BI, Excel, uh, Dynamics, Power Platform, right? By bringing these two together, we've created an integrated SaaS platform that supports both low code and pro code approaches for data integration. Uh, Fabric Data Factory is AI powered through CoPilot and seamlessly integrates open data integration platforms, frameworks basically, making it flexible and a scalable solution for diverse data needs. Now, let's move to the next slide. Now, let's take a look at how Data Factory delivers all the critical data integration capabilities, right? So, Data Factory offers best in class connectivity with hundreds of connectors for business critical data sources, no matter where your data resides, right? Be it on prem or in cloud or behind a virtual network or firewall. Data Factory ensures a seamless access to these data sources. It also enables petascale data movement, leveraging ADF's proven capabilities, which are responsible for transferring hundreds of petabytes of data every month. Beyond movement, Data Factory provides powerful orchestration capabilities built on ADF's industry leading workflows that execute tens of billions of orchestration per month. And when it comes to data transformation, Data Factory provides Power Query. It provides, again, something that we are looking at today, Dataflows Gen2, to deliver a low-code data preparation experience while leveraging Fabric's enterprise levels, compute engines for seamless processing. Additionally, the deployment, the DevOps, and observability are all built in, ensuring that Data Factory provides a comprehensive data management and integration platform. And of course, Data Factory is built on one lake with AI capability seamlessly integrated, making it a robust and intelligent solution for modern data integration. So let's move to the next slide. Okay. In this slide, what we would like to cover is probably just introduce and I'll highlight some of the key components that you will find in Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric, right? When you open the Data Factory, you will see several essential capabilities. The data pipelines, of course, which helps you to orchestrate your end-to-end data integration flows. Dataflows Gen2, something that we'll be covering today, which helps you prepare, clean, and transform your data efficiently. We'll be focusing primarily on this during this session today. Mirror databases, it's a feature. Just a minute. It's a feature that will help you quickly replicate your existing databases. It'll help you replicate your existing data sources into one lake, keeping everything at sync. Copy jobs, right, which helps you move data quickly and efficiently across various destinations, bringing in CDC capabilities as well. Apache Airflow for customers who prefer code first approach, right? Data Factory provides artifacts that enables you to connect and reuse your existing, uh, uh, you know, I mean, this is for the data factory one. So you can still go ahead and reuse and connect to your existing data factory resources within Fabric. These are just a few powerful capabilities in data flow in data factory that helps you to streamline your data integration workflows with many more features designed to enhance your productivity and efficiency. So that's pretty much the introduction around what is Fabric, where does the data flow in Fabric comes into picture, and few concepts around the key components that are available in Data Factory within Microsoft Fabric. Right. With that, I will hand this over to Yaran, who will take us on a deep dive into Data Flows Gen 2 and its capabilities. Over to you, Yaran.
Thank you, Krishna. Yeah, so let's dive deeper into Dataflows Gen2. So out of these list of items that Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric is provided, we are going today to look at the one in the middle, Dataflows Gen2. Dataflows Gen2 is in some way related to all of these items in this list. For example, it can use pipelines in the backend, but we'll dive deeper into that as we go. So with that, we go back to this picture where we have the on the left hand side, we have the best in class connectivity. Right hand side, we have the deployment observability, AI powered is basically powering it all. And then we have the data movement orchestration transform to make the data move from one place to another. But before we can move stuff, we need to get stuff first. And Dataflows Gen 2 is supported with 170 plus data sources. So we have connectors for Azure, Google, Amazon, Snowflake, Databricks, and maybe even Oracle or SAP if that's the business tool you use in your organization. It can be extended with connectors in SDK, and it does support a hybrid of on-prem and cloud connectivity with the VNet data gateway, for example, because you know that most of the data that you probably have within your organization is behind some kind of firewall or protected in some way. So using the on-premise data gateway in combination with Dataflows Gen 2 allows you to extract that data, put it within Fabric, and start working with the data to put it in analytics format, right? Because in the end, Dataflows is a tool to move your data for the purpose that you want to use for analysis or maybe train your AI model in the future. Then, if we look at transformation is the core part of data flows, allowing you to, with the data you just got from your business tools, put it back into a new format to make it, for example, your order data probably contains a lot of columns. Maybe you need to do some group buys or anything like that to actually get a full picture of what's happening within your organization. So you'll use the transform side of things with Dataflows Gen 2. Dataflows Gen 2 is a data preparation tool that's low code and easy to use for any user within the organization. So if you have a pro dev user, probably gets his way around pretty quickly around this tool, but also the business user. So where the knowledge is within the organization, often the business user is more aware of what the numbers mean within the data set, where the IT professional is very good with code and writing your notebooks with Python, that kind of stuff, but is less aware of what the actual result is required. So the required result for reporting purposes. So with Dataflows Gen 2, you have a tool that support both, where you as a business user can start creating the outlines and outskirts for what you want for your reporting purposes, hand it over to the data integration professional within your organization, and he can evolve it further. So make it more smart or add some additional things to it, but it's easy to hand over as it's all based in this UI X experience. one new thing that we added within Dataflows Gen 2 compared to Gen 1 is that we now allow you to write the data anywhere. So we have a set of data destinations that we support, like the Azure SQL database, but also the Lakehouse and the warehouse in Fabric, and recently added SharePoint CSV files, where you can write the data to that data destination for you to consume it further in other tools. Fabric is, as you have seen, what Krishna told, is a wide range of tools. Allows you to run notebooks, Power BI reports, a lot of things. And you can now use the output of this data flow in all of those tools using Lakehouse or Warehouse as your data destination. And that said, we have a little demo for you going here.
Here, we have the homepage of Data Factory in Fabric. Let's start by creating a data flow. Users who are familiar with Power Query will appreciate the familiarity of the low-code yet customizable experience. With over 170 connectors, you can get data from many sources. As you can see here, I have already imported my two tables, my orders table and my products table from my worldwide importer SQL database. Along with the two tables I brought in, I have a customer's Excel file that I have on my file system that I would like to bring in. File has been uploaded. Data Preview allows me to see my data before selecting the data to clean and transform. Now that I have brought in my data, I'm ready to transform data at high scale. Along with altering columns and rows, I can also merge and append queries. Let me first start by merging my customers and orders query. I can specify the queries I want to merge, along with the column I want to merge on. Now, I can see a new query with all the columns from my customers table and one column with the nested data from the orders table. Along with merging and appending queries, I can also transform the data using Group By. Group By allows me to group rows in my query based on the values in the selected column. For this example, I will group by the related titles for each customer. Now we can see that a new transformation has been made to the query, showcasing our new output. With data flows, you can set your output destination to store your transformed data. In this example, I will write the results to a table in a data warehouse. Let's put in the server and connection credentials to my data warehouse. I will choose a destination target and give the table a name. I will leave the default as replace, essentially meaning that any tables with the same name will be replaced in my warehouse. I will quickly rename my data flow to Contosa Data Flow, and then I can publish it. And with that, my data
Right. This is a demo of the basics of Dataflows Gen 2, how it works, how you can set up things. UX may have changed a bit in the time of recording till now, but the basics should be the same, and it should allow you to set up a data destination easily, transform your data as needed, and allow you to move forward with what you want to go achieve.
Here, we have the homepage of Data Factory in Fabric. Let's start by creating a
All right. Dataflow Gen 2 also introduced a new capability or a new concept called staging. Staging is a powerful way of you leveraging compute that wasn't there when you got it from the source. So if you're familiar with Power BI or any form where Power Query was involved, you know that Power Query is known for being able to fold back to the data source. So let's say I have a SQL database where I want to do a group by on my data. Power Query would be clever enough to figure out that, this group by is actually supported by the data source. So instead of calculating it myself by getting all the data and then doing the group by, it's actually telling the source, can you group it for me to and give me the results right away. So with Dataflows Gen 2 and staging, what we actually do there is that if you have a data source that doesn't fold. So let's say you have CSV files. You can first load it into the staging area of Dataflows and then do the transform on top of that. So in that case, that would be that I'm loading data into my staging area by enabling staging for that query. And then the second query that consumes from it can actually talk to this staging area using SQL language, and it can fold back to the lakehouse warehouse that's supporting the Dataflow Gen2 in that area. It's a seamless way of you and not having to have a lot of knowledge about SQL and that kind of stuff to actually fold back to the data source. And it allows you to have way better performance than letting the data flow get all the data and then do the transform. So let's have a look at the following. This is how it in the backend essentially works. We have on the left-hand side, we have the data sources. Then we go into the middle where we have the mashup engine that consumes from the lakehouse staging storage, or that has support by the lakehouse staging storage and the warehouse staging storage. And then the engine is on top of it. And that's where the Power Query basically lives, right? The engine is basically orchestrating between all of these two items, how data is being moved and being processed. So on the left-hand side, we're, for example, connecting to a SharePoint site where we have a lot of CSV of some kind of business process that we are running. Then the mashup engine is basically contacting that data source and putting it into the staging storage. In this staging storage, we have now access to the warehouse staging compute. This staging compute allows you to actually perform those SQL queries against the warehouse and then use that for processing it further and then write it directly to the data destination. For example, if we have a warehouse staging and we want to write it to a warehouse data destination, it actually pushes it right away to the warehouse staging without going through the engine again. And if we have one more slide here. There is another step that's very important in this one, is that is fast copy. So if we go back here, we see that data is being moved from here to the engine, and then we have the staging storage. But there is a quick way for us to actually get this data from the source data to the lakehouse by using fast copy. Because what fast copy allows us to do is we spin up in the backend a data pipeline. So the data pipeline Krishna was talking earlier about, that's the orchestration tool. And in there is a copy activity. This copy activity is a very high performance way of moving data from A to B. And we leverage that part of the pipeline to write the data directly to the lakehouse. So what we do, we delegate this responsibility of making the data available in Fabric in the staging lakehouse to the data pipeline. And then the data flow engine takes it over and puts the other processing in place. So what we see here is that we have basically on the right, we have a indicator highlighting if it's going to be evaluated by fast copy, meaning that it's being stored by fast copy. And what we currently support is that we have a list of supported data sources, and that's Azure Data Lake Gen2, Blob Storage, SQL Database, Fabric Lakehouse, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, Fabric Warehouse, Oracle, Snowflake. More to come, of course, but these are now effectively supported by the copy activity, allowing us to orchestrate or delegate that responsibility to the data pipeline. There is a learn more link. I can share that later in the chat as well, allowing you to learn more about what's happening with fast copy. And I believe we have a demo here as well where you can see the performance benefits you get when you have fast copy enabled. So let's give it a go.
Hey everyone, in this demo I will be showing some tips and tricks on how you can leverage new capabilities like fast copy to make your Dataflow Gen2 more performant. Let's take this example where a customer already has an existing Dataflow Gen2 that is processing 22 gigabytes of data. The refresh takes almost 2 hours to complete. Let me show you how you can leverage fast copy and some query optimization techniques to improve this refresh time. First, I'll allow the use of fast copy connectors. This will leverage the powerful copy activity from pipelines to copy my data into the Fabric One lake. For my more complex data transformations, I want to leverage the Fabric compute. To leverage this, I have to stage my data first into the Fabric OneLake. This is easy. All I have to do is enable staging and reference my query. Now I can start applying all my complex transformations and compute those transformations at scale. In this example, I will be reapplying the exact same step as I previously had. This will be a group by that takes a lot of compute to calculate. Lastly, since I split my query into two, I need to reapply my data destination. I am picking the same lakehouse again. All I have to do is just pick the lakehouse from the navigator, create a new table, and I'm going to use append as my update method. Then I will publish my data flow. And if you open the refresh history, you can now see that it only took 10 minutes to process the exact same 22 gigabytes of data with the exact same transformation as before. But now it does it much, much, much faster. Thank you everyone for watching this demo.
All right, that's awesome. So as you can see, we can do the large-scale data movement, the data transformation right away with Dataflows Gen2. There is no coding needed. You can just use the Dataflow engine and it will automatically try to pick up with fast copy. What you've seen is that Michaela enabled the fast copy indicator. By default, this is now turned on. So whenever we see an opportunity to leverage fast copy, we will do so and try to elevate your performance right away, right there. All right, next up, data destinations. We quickly talked about it in previous demos already, but what we do with data destinations is kind of a new thing with Power Query. So within Dataflows Gen 1, you had the opportunity to write your data to the data flow storage in a way, right? So you had data flows, you created the data flow in your workspace, you basically get all your data, but the only way you can access that data was using the data flow connector. So the data flow connector was the only way for you to consume that data in Power BI reports, in Excel, or other tools that supported that data flow connector. With data destinations, we actually expanded this by actually allowing you to write to specific data destinations like the lakehouse, the warehouse, the SQL database, the Fabric event house. We support Azure SQL databases, Synapse Analytics, and CSV files in SharePoint. CSV files is the new one that we recently added. This is the first step in allowing you to write files to a data destination with Dataflows Gen2, and there's more to come. This is the first step where we can allow you to, for example, make extracts and share it within your team in Office 365 of things that happened based on analytics you did before. There's a couple of ways that you can actually write your data to the destination. That's either replace or append. And there are patterns allowing you to do also a merging of new data to the data destination to keep things in sync. So let's have a look here as well for what's more to come. And talking about keeping things in sync is that incremental refresh allows you to do this quite easily. You select the date time that you want to filter by, and we ask you to say how much data do you want to look at every refresh. So for example, I have an orders table. We then say I want to look at the last month or 10 months of data to see if there is any changes in data. And then the bucket size, meaning that just imagine you and a team going to a lake and trying to empty this lake. You can take very small buckets, but you need a lot to empty this lake. Or you have one big bucket, but it will be very heavy and it might be a bit slow, right? And so for you, it's up to you to decide what's the right size of bucket for your data that you're working with. And we will only update this bucket of data if this if we detect there is a change in that bucket. So if we previously loaded that bucket, we actually store the latest modified date that we have detected in your data set. And if this one is getting upped, so if the data source is reporting that there is new data for this bucket available, we will actually go back to that bucket and replace that data in the data destination as well. The benefits of incremental refresh is allowing you to have an ongoing ingress of data without having to do a full refresh all the time. It also allows you to do loading in parallel, meaning that all these buckets can be loaded in parallel together, and you don't have to wait for sequential loading or anything like that. And with that, we actually are moving to the AI-powered intelligence of Dataflows Gen2. And there is a lot. There is things that are before CoPilot became a thing, but there are also things that that is powered by CoPilot. And we have a very fun demo coming up. First one, this one that's already around for quite a while, and that's by example data extraction. It's a very fun one if you're not aware of it.
By example data extraction in Power Query provides a no-code data.
Before we go there, it's a very fun one. It allows you to actually extract data by just typing the data that you want. Miguel is going to present this in shortly, and here we go.
First, citizen user-friendly way to extract data from unstructured sources that is unmatched in the industry. Web by example allows users to easily extract data from web pages like the one we see on the left, where a matrix-style gallery can be turned into a tabular structure including connector names, publisher, categories, and products as columns. Using Power Query, customers can simply specify a few sample values for the data outcomes that they're looking for. For example, we'll extract the connector name. With just a couple of examples, Power Query will be able to apply a smart AI heuristics and extract the right data from the entire web page. In this example, we will also extract the category for each of these connectors, which can be done with just a single value, given at this point Power Query already understands the structure from this web page. Last but not least, we will also extract the list of products where each of these connectors in Power Query are available today. Once users get the desired data extracted from the web page, they can move forward with applying any other transformations out of the 300 plus supported transforms in the Power Query editor experience, leveraging a highly visual, no-code experience that invites citizen users to achieve more with their data. In this case, we will just apply a group by operation to count the number of connectors by connector category. Text by example provides similar capabilities, allowing users to extract data from semi-structured text files. In this example, a text file contains customer records in blocks of 5 lines, where the first line corresponds to the company name, followed by the contact name, title, and contact details. Bringing this data into any most DI tools results in a single column import, which would be tedious to reshape and clean up by hand. With add table from examples, Power Query allows users to focus on the desired data outcomes and leave the complexity of data transformations to our AI logic. With just a couple of examples on the first 2 columns, Power Query is able to infer the right repetition pattern and extract the rest of the customer records from the file. From that point on, specifying new columns such as contact title is even easier. With just one sample value, Power Query gets the job done. Notice how, after landing in the Power Query editor, customers can see the full sequence of applied transformation steps to achieve these results. These steps can be further explored or customized by users and extended with any other data transformations. Like in this case, we're going to derive a new column based upon the contact name and title from this table using column by examples to generate a very particular format. Last name uppercase, comma, first name, and title in parentheses. It's just that easy to transform data using Power Query. And with highly visual capabilities, such as data profiling, users can immediately get a sense for the value distributions of their data. Users can leverage data profiles to understand value distributions on their data address any quality issues such as missing or duplicated values, or simply exclude specific data values as needed for the scenario. In this case, we will just exclude any customers that have a contact title of owner.
All right. As you can see, it was a very powerful way to get a lot of things done that were previously kind of unthinkable. This is, of course, not the actual Gen AI that we talk about today, but it's actually a very nice way to do pattern recognition and apply that in your day-to-day experience, which makes you as a data integrator probably very happy because it's easy. Nonetheless, let's go
By
forward.
example, data.
Of course, we have CoPilot and AI enabled. Is now enabled since April 30th for every capacity starting from F2 plus. And this is already available right now. It's currently, we're living in June, and meaning that everyone that has a Fabric capacity should have access to the CoPilot and AI experience as well, allowing you to leverage some of the cool stuff that we have in Dataflows Gen2. So, for example, CoPilot boosts productivity by generating new data factory items. And one of them could be that within the Dataflow editor, you can actually ask it, hey, I have this data and I want to report over it. Can you change the shape of the data for me to in this way that I can use it for my report? So you can use natural language to actually work together with your CoPilot on generating the data flow you want. You can make a summary or ask the CoPilot to make a summary to learn of what the data flow is doing. So if you're working together with a coworker, we now also support read-only mode, meaning that if you have a coworker that opens your data flow but doesn't really know what's going on, you can ask CoPilot and ask, hey, what's this data flow doing if it's a very complex one. It allows you to do a create new data within the data flow and also explain errors. So if you have errors within your data pipeline, it will actually instruct you or guide you through the process of troubleshooting your data pipeline, meaning that accessibility for tools like data pipelines becomes even broader as we go forward. But before we go there, we have a very fun demo from Guy in the Cube together with Alex Powers. So I really want to invite you to watch this together with us.
Yo! What's up? I'm Adam. I'm Alex. And Alex is joining us again. You spent some time with Patrick going through like, what can you do without CoPilot? But look, I'm the pilot. And so show me what CoPilot can do that I can't.
Well, Adam, then let's go ahead and start out in the modern Power Query editor here. I absolutely love it, especially in the Home tab here. We now notice in the far right-hand side, we've got that amazing CoPilot button. So let's go ahead and open this up now. And I'm going to type in one of my favorite prompts here. I'm just going to go ahead and say, just only keep the customers when the country is equal to the USA. Let's go ahead and hit submit.
It's like I'm having a conversation with my data.
Bananas. Let us know in the comments what you think about today's video. That was incredible.
No, there's got to be more, Alex. There's got to be more.
So you're a little skeptical is what I'm hearing. You're saying, I call that, you applied a filter. I could have clicked the button. Anyone could have done that.
Look, Patrick could have done that.
Hashtag Patrick could have done that.
Yeah.
Since you're a little skeptical, let's try and do the count, total number of customers by the state, and kind of only keep the top 3 by the largest size. Submitting this now, letting CoPilot kind of think about it. So Adam, last time we just did one step at a time, but this time we actually chained multiple together. That would have taken us 1 button spinning wheel, 2 button spinning wheel, 3 button spinning wheel.
But there's got to be more.
All right, so still a little skeptical here. You're like,
I need more.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the creativity of CoPilot. I've noticed the Guy in the Cube videos, they're just getting a little stale here. So I'm going to ask it for a little bit of help. Maybe titles inspired by Star Wars. Let's see what we can do as maybe a title for this video.
Ooh, I like this.
Awesome. So we've got a Power BI, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back with DAX, Phantom of the Data Menace. Oh, that one's pretty good.
The force is strong with CoPilot. I will give it that. Is that it, or like is that the power of CoPilot?
All right. So you've seen us do some simple stuff, some chained activities. Now a little bit of creativity. Like let's really combine all this stuff together. Adam, we always get called in to like looking at people's data models. We're always like, where's your date table? Where's your date table? Wouldn't it be great if we just asked CoPilot to build that for us? So in this example, we're going to ask it to go ahead and just create a new calendar table starting from 2017 to the current date. Just include like tons of columns to slice and dice our data by. That was crazy. Look how long the scroll bar is, top to bottom.
Look at all those steps.
Oh my gosh.
Bring up the M script on that.
Wow.
Oh. Now we're at Chris Webb's level. That's a lot.
That is a lot. We did the simple stuff. We did the complex stuff. We did some creative stuff. And we did something like this where a difficult problem that a lot of people kind of stated, like, go build calendars, go do this.
Yeah.
Throw it into CoPilot, let it do 50 plus steps. Adam, I do have one more trick though on this one, if you don't mind.
All right, let's see.
All right. It's not only added the steps for us, but I'd like to have a little bit more information about, okay, what were you actually doing here? So I'm just ask CoPilot to kind of describe the query itself. Awesome. So here CoPilot has now written all these descriptions. I'm going to go to the very top here. So Adam, it says the query generates a comprehensive date table from January 1st to the current date. Yes, that's exactly what I was kind of looking for. It goes through and describes each line by line step here.
This is nice because now I've just got to copy and paste it, and then I've got my documentation, right?
I mean, that would be pretty good, but I think we can do much better, right?
Okay.
So if we actually go to the bottom of the description here, we have this add to query where it says, I'll go and inject the descriptions for you. It says, hey, I noticed you had a few descriptions already. Is it okay to overwrite? Absolutely. Let's go and do that. These are much better. Top to bottom. Wow. All of these have now been described. If we hover above the query, also the query level description has been added.
All right. Everyone should be doing that. Well, I mean, is there anything else CoPilot can do? I mean, this is a lot.
So we've seen a lot here. Let's go back to the very beginning because I know you were a little skeptical here at the top. So I'm going to go into my query. We're going to just go back to kind of that early example, right? Especially if you're a new or inexperienced user, Adam, you've never seen Power Query before. It's got all these amazing buttons. You're just like, well, which ones do I press? But you know the problem you want to solve, right? So we're going to ask it to just go and only keep married customers. Very simple. And again, we see on the card, it has the icon here for the filter rows. If we were to hover above this now, obviously we can see, all right, I'm starting to learn the UI as I go. We didn't give it precisely which column to use or even that there was a key here. So marital status M equals married, S equals single. Yep. CoPilot was able to figure that out.
You may need to validate that, right? Because it may not get it just right. But in this case, it got it spot on.
And of course, if there's an error, you can undo it here on the card. You can delete it from the applied steps list. Yep. Let's go and try it, kind of another one here as well. Maybe creating new columns by the login, kind of a username and company. If we go to the right-hand side, it added 2 new columns, username and company, just kind of based upon like the original column here. So if we were to go back, email address. Well, I would need to know what a split by is. I would need to know what a delimiter is. I would need to know what the @ symbol is. But in this example, again, I knew my problem. CoPilot figured it out for me. Yeah. All right, so let's try another one here then. We're going to do a little bit more complex. Keep the rows where the education is bachelor's, occupation is professional, and the title is Mrs. So I think about this, Adam, whenever you, me, are kind of chatting on Teams or you forward me an email and saying, I'm way too busy. Just go do all these things for me on the list, right? Just copying and pasting.
It's a lot of steps.
Huge. A new filter rows. But most importantly, Adam, if we click on this settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It just saved us 11 clicks.
I'm going to say CoPilot is the new click tax remover.
Oh, I love it. I love these examples again where you have to think, is it the and or the or condition? You have to go through each field well and find the right column. It's making me more productive, even as a professional user, to be like, is that something I want to fuss with, or can I just outsource it to CoPilot? I'm going to go to this query here now. You know, we always see like a lot of these just very horizontal laid out tables where it's like, oh my gosh, is it the pivot? Is it the unpivot? You have to do it once or twice until you kind of only remember the one. But wouldn't it be better if we just ask CoPilot here to just do multiple steps here? So turning rows into kind of columns, casting data types, and also just ensuring that it's also like a ascending order here at the very end. Awesome. So Adam, once again, I was able to figure this out. We chained multiple prompts together. More importantly, though, we were a little bit of chaos because we used a numbered list, we used a dash, and then we kind of gave it these mixed words like DSC, which only makes sense if you're kind of a SQL background.
So it can handle the chaos that is Alex. That's good to know.
Yes.
That's good to know.
So let's go ahead and do another one here. Then I'm going to go to my product table. And a lot of these tables, Adam, I look at in models, they just bring in every column and they kind of say, hey, we'll clean it up after the fact.
The business said they needed all of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I only need this one column product key. Instead of like scanning left and right and hoping I got them all, I'm just going to ask CoPilot, just only keep the product key in my table, but dynamically remove every other column that has a suffix of key, ID, or label. Okay. Let's go ahead and submit that.
Oh, I like that.
So it's not just the data that we're kind of using CoPilot with, but it could also be the scan schema.
You know, when Patrick and I would do demos before, and it was like, oh, I got to remove all the keys and I got to go through each one, and there's a bunch of them on the fact table. So I'm like, this is nice.
So in this example, choose columns, it wrote this dynamic formula now for us. So it has the ends with key, ID, or label. So now in the future, if any new columns get added to the table, we don't have to worry about them. We are only keeping the actual columns that we want.
Nice.
Last one. Whenever we were connecting out to the databases, I always see these capitalized names. Everyone's always yelling at us, capital store underscore key. And I don't get any joy from this activity, Adam. I don't, log off for the day and tell the spouse and family that I renamed 200 columns. You should have seen me, right? Like, this is the perfect job for a CoPilot.
What did you do
Let's ask
today?
it to change all the column names to be more readable using proper case, removing any underscores. So we're going to submit this now. We saw in the last example where CoPilot was able to kind of move some columns and drop them. We're going to ask it to just do a complete custom function here now for us, where it renamed every single column in our table to be more readable.
I think you convinced me. CoPilot can do a lot of cool things for me. It's not that it's replacing what I do, but it's making me go faster so I can move on to the things that really are meaningful.
So that's big for me, is just the inexperienced user using it to learn Power Query,
Yes.
and then the advanced users being, okay, how can I be even faster in my development time? Like that big calendar table with that massive advanced editor screen.
Yeah.
That would have taken us hours to write, even as a professional.
Not that we're lazy, we're just efficient. Let us know down in the comments if you have any questions for Alex or myself.
Hey, Aaron, I believe you're muted. Yep. We cannot hear you, Aaron.
I see. Sorry, I was just talking to everyone. I want to say I'm very inspired by the overall use for Copilot. I'm certainly going to use the Copilot more in my day-to-day life to actually make it easier for me to work on my data flows. So in terms of things that we recently shipped, last May we had built event, a recap of the announcement we did. Highlighted are the ones that are relevant to Dataflows Gen2. What we made available now for GA is Dataflows Gen2 CI/CD version. So whenever you create a new Dataflow Gen2, it's shown a tick box saying, I want to have CI/CD and public APIs scenarios enabled. That one is now GA. So I encourage you to use the new CI/CD version. It comes with tons of new stuff, just like the read-only experience for your colleagues who actually look at your data flows. Public previews for public APIs with SPN support, parameterized data flows. That's also announced recently in April 24th. Dataflows Copilot support to create custom columns. And we also added a new data destination, SharePoint CSV file output destinations. Then next up, general usability enhancements. And I'll be going quickly through this because we are running out of time. We have been taking our time quite a lot, but I'll skip as much as I can. So Christian, I can take.
Here we are in our Contoso Outdoors workspace, where we have a task list set up to prep, transform, orchestrate, and visualize data. Source create. Now, inside the Dataflows editor, we've introduced a few enhancements to improve the transformation experience. First, a streamlined toolbar. We've reduced it to a single line for a cleaner, more focused workspace. If you prefer the previous view, you can always toggle the ribbon back. Second, a Save As button, one of the top requests from our community. You can now save a data flow with automatically publishing or refreshing the data behind the scenes. And third, multitasking support. You can now open multiple items at the same time. When I open an item, a tab is pinned to the left navigation bar, so I can switch between my workspace and other resources, like querying my Contoso Outdoors SQL database, without losing my place. So let's skip ahead, and you'll see that we've already brought in some tables and applied transformations. Now, let's save our data flow to the workspace. Since Git integration is enabled, we can see the newly created data flow is marked as uncommitted. By clicking source control, we can view what's changed, add a commit message, and hit commit. Within seconds, our changes are committed and everything is up to date. If I navigate to my DevOps environment, you'll see individualized folders for each of the items. If I navigate to the new data flow that I just created and synced, You'll see all the relevant mashup and metadata files here. Now that I've synced our data, we have the option to refresh it directly from here. But now we've integrated the new schedule experience. Just like pipelines, I can now schedule to run this data flow every few minutes, every hour, daily, etc. And I could give it granular controls like the frequency of refreshes and start and end times as well, all integrated in a unified experience. The last feature I want to show you is how we can enable users to easily save an existing Dataflows Gen1 as a Gen2 native data flow. We have a new Save As experience that enables easy migration, all with just a couple of clicks. All I have to do is go to my Dataflow Gen1 that I have in my workspace, and then I'll see an option called Save As Dataflow Gen2. You can optionally provide it a name, and then we'll hit Create. Soon you'll see a new Dataflow Gen2 native item created based on the copy of the queries from the Gen1 data flow. Returning to the workspace, we can now see two data flows, the original Gen1 data flow and the new Gen2 data flow.
Yeah, and the last part of it was really exciting to see. It allows you to easily migrate over to Gen2. Again, I encourage you guys to try this out, see if it works for you, and what's missing. Let us know. We really try to see if we can fit your needs here.
Here we are in our Contoso Outdoors workspace, where we have a
All right. We also added parameter in data flows and pipelines. I think we may need to skip it, or how long is this one? This one is 2 minutes. Krishna, I'm taking 2 minutes, and then we'll skip right through the section for you. So within Dataflows Gen2, we now have support for parameters. This was a highly asked question, or for us to implement, allowing you to have external parameters to be used during the refresh.
This is a metadata-driven pipeline that seamlessly moves my product's order data through the medallion architecture in OneLake at petabyte scale. A common challenge in data processing is dynamically handling different inputs, and I can use parameterization to make my workflows fully flexible. I've created a parameter in my pipeline that references my SQL database connection. And going into my copy activity, I can create a dynamic connection that references that same parameter. No more static connections, and I can parameterize them effortlessly. If I open the expression builder, I can simply select my predefined parameter, and just like that, my connections are dynamic and easily configurable. Next, I've integrated a data flow activity to handle transformations. Let's open it up and see how parameterization makes it even more powerful. In this data flow, I'm transforming products orders data by grouping orders by region. My goal is to create a table in OneLake for each region. Instead of hard-coding regions, I can make this dynamic using parameters. I've defined a region parameter which dynamically filters data by the region. The default value is Eastern, so my query currently filters for Eastern orders. When I use this parameter in my orders by region query, the filter icon indicates that the query dynamically adjusts based on the input. Since my destination is a SQL database, region-specific tables automatically appear there. Let's hit save and see how we can leverage this new parameter from within a pipeline. If I go back to my pipeline and configure my data flow activity, I can see that after selecting my data flow, I have a new section to input the parameters. Here, I can input my region parameter, and I'll use the expression builder to give it a parameterized value from the get metadata activity. Inside my for each loop, this pipeline will iterate over each region dynamically, processing orders from Eastern, Northern, Southern, and Western regions. Skipping ahead, you can see my pipeline has run successfully. Checking the output, we can see that each region's data was processed separately. First activity, the region is Eastern, second is Southern, and another one is Northern. If I head to my database, I'll see 4 separate tables corresponding to products orders for each region for my tables.
We are super excited to see this one coming and allowing us to make your life a bit more dynamic. So with that, let's head over to
I'm in a bit of a situation.
Let's see
the upgrade pathways. We unfortunately had to skip a couple of these, but we can. I believe there is another session that has been happening in the US time zone that's also available on this YouTube channel. Allow me to look at those. So with that, upgrade pathways to Fabric Data Factory.
Great. Thanks, Joran. That was a great overview of the latest capabilities and enhancements in Dataflows Gen2. In this section, we'll go through the upgrade pathways. Probably in this slide, where we cover why should you upgrade to Dataflows Gen 2, right? Simply put, Dataflows Gen 2 is the new generation of Dataflows. It offers advanced features and more streamlined capabilities, streamlined experiences as compared to Dataflow Gen 1. It pretty much enhances the data ingestion and transformation capabilities, providing greater scalability, flexibility, and integration within the Fabric ecosystem, right? So here there are few of those features that we've covered. Probably we can just quickly, go through that. Yeah, first is fast copy. We've already spoken about that. Second one is the VNet gateway, right, which is used for enabling secure access within your virtual network. It can be used for connecting to private endpoints, on-premise sources managed by VNets, right? The next one is high scale transformation. We already spoke about staging. We covered that part as well. So let's move on. The next one is CoPilot. We had a demo that talks about all the capabilities within CoPilot. So let's move on further, right? We had the data destination as well. So we spoke about the output destination, where you can write your output data to multiple destinations, including lakehouse, warehouse, SQL databases, and many more. What's next? Yeah, the enhanced refresh history, right? So with Dataflow Gen 2, it offers enhanced refresh history experience, more intuitive and detailed user interface, which provides more clearer insights into the refresh status, duration, error messages, makes it easier to monitor and troubleshoot Dataflow runs. So all of these features are bundled in Dataflow Gen 2. So please move to Dataflow Gen 2, right? In this slide, probably what we're trying to cover is what are the features that are available in Dataflow Gen 1, which is the Power BI Dataflows as compared to Dataflow Gen 2. Most of the core capabilities in Dataflow Gen 1 are already available in Gen 2, and with few exceptions, like the older ones which have been deprecated, where there wasn't much of a usage. At the same time, Dataflow Gen 2 introduces more powerful capabilities like VNet data gateway, output as well that we are looking at, data output destination, fast copy, and many more that we have discussed. Going forward, of course, our investment will be more on Dataflow Gen 2. Our goal is to make sure that we provide a smooth upgrade experience as well for folks in the existing Dataflow Gen 1 to Gen 2, right? With that, let me move on to some of the ways in which you can upgrade your existing Dataflow Gen 1, the Power BI Dataflows to Gen 2, right? The first option that you're looking at is a manual migration. You have your queries already available in your Dataflow Gen 1, right? So these are fully compatible with Dataflow Gen 2. So you can open your Dataflow Gen 2, copy paste them directly into Gen 2 item in Fabric using the Power Query editor, and then that's it. Your queries and transformations are now available in Dataflow Gen 2. The second option is using the PQ2 template. With just one click, you can export your data flows as a PQT file from your Power BI data flows or Excel. And then you can simply create a new Dataflow Gen 2 in Fabric and then use the import from Power Query template and option and bring in the exported file. All your queries are automatically copied in and moved. The third option is, of course, save as experience that we spoke about a bit, right? Which is publicly available now. So with just one button click, right, you can just you bring your already created Dataflow Gen 1 to Dataflow Gen 2 and even Dataflow Gen 2 with CI/CD option, right? So that's the power of this particular new feature. We are excited to make this upgrade journey as smooth as possible, like I said, and so you can start taking advantage of all the new powerful features in Dataflow Gen 2. In this slide, we'll cover probably something that we've already done, what's coming up in roadmap for Dataflow Gen 2. First thing, of course, I just want to take quickly, probably 2-3 seconds to talk about what is available, right? So we do have a public roadmap already available for Fabric, Microsoft Fabric. You can access aka.ms/Fabric roadmap. It covers everything across Fabric platform, including Dataflows Gen2 as well. So there is a section for Data Factory, and in that you would find the Dataflows updates basically over there. Now, let's quickly talk about the recently announced features. We already went through this, right? Incremental refresh is in GA, CI/CD GA. The rest of the things that you're looking there are in public preview. We would urge you folks to use that, and if in case you have any questions or if you're looking for any features, please use the ideas forum, Fabric ideas forum, right? Our PMs, we religiously look into the ideas forum, try to get what the user needs and work on that for the future semesters as well, right? On the other side, apart from the recently announced what is coming soon, right? You would see that the more focus is around expanding our output destinations, right? So we recently announced adding SharePoint CSV support. We're looking at adding more output destination like Excel from SharePoint files, OneDrive Business, and the AD-List Gen2, and also support for other relational databases like Snowflake for that matter. Bring in schema support for Lakehouse and parameterization support. The modern get data experience is even going through more changes as well. Support CoPilot, adding CoPilot support to get data, browsing SharePoint folders, having a recent tab for your sources and tables that you've used recently, enabling support for workspace variables, and the parallelized execution and data sampling, design time sampling is something that we are planning to work on. Again, just reiterating on this point again, if you feel that there are you're looking for a feature, you don't see that available, please use our Fabric ideas forum, and we like I said, we look into that in and out every day to read what is there on users' mind, right? And with that, I think we are done for today. You can just go to the next slide, which should be the thank you slide for us. Yes. So for the thank you slide, again, I just wanted to say thank you all for joining us today. Your feedback does count, so keep them coming. And this really helps us to shape our product better and serve your needs, of course, right? So thank you once again. I don't think we have more time, so I am looking at the comment section as well as the YouTube comment section. I don't see any questions there. Yaran, do you have anything else to add on before we close? Okay, thank you folks for joining. That should be it.